Woman asks homeless man for lunch. What happens next will stun you. We don't like to admit it, but there are homeless people almost everywhere in the world. It's an ugly reality that most of us don't like to face. Some people don't have the same difficulty when they face someone who's more down on their luck and choose to show the less fortunate a bit of compassion. One woman such as that met a homeless man one morning and decided to buy him a meal. What he said to her next surprised her to no end. A young woman named Casey Fisher. Although there are many people who choose to show kindness when they do not have to, the woman we're spotlighting today is named Casey Fisher. Casey was a young woman when this happened back in 2015, having a normal day where she lived in the United States. Not only was Casey a young woman, she's also a young mother. Casey's the mother to one adorable baby daughter, and who knows by now, maybe she has more. She frequently takes to social media to post photos like this one showing her happy little family's daily life. It's easy to tell from all these photos and her social media that Casey really loves her daughter and is leaning into the role of motherhood. Having a child is, as everyone knows, no small change to someone's life. It doesn't just change daily routine, but the way we look at life as well. Ask any mom out there and she'll tell you that the moment she became a mom was a turning point in her life. The natural caring and protective instinct that mothers feel over their children is almost overwhelming and teaches a new outlook on life that extends beyond just their own offspring. The well-known concept of maternal instinct actually has a very simple scientific explanation behind it. Back when life was a bit more of a daily struggle, hundreds to thousands of years ago, this maternal instinct is what kept a child safe from predators and the elements, thus making it possible for them to reach adulthood and help the group survive. This particular mother, Casey, is living in our modern age where this maternal instinct may no longer be necessary for survival, but is still part of every woman's mind. This instinct almost undoubtedly kicked in when she saw a homeless man outside a popular donut store. Like all homeless people, this particular man was without a comfortable place to rest his head. So he'd chosen to take a rest on a public bench outside the donut store Miss Fisher chose to visit that day. But while he was sitting there, he appeared to be crying. When Casey passed by this particular homeless man, she saw that he was crying and decided to stop and ask him if he'd like to have breakfast at the donut place. Once they were inside and had it ordered, she then asked him if he'd like to sit with her over their meals. The homeless man was surprised that she was being so kind to him. Most people are uncomfortable around the homeless and therefore try to avoid them at all costs. The two then proceed to talk over their meals, and it turns out his name was Chris. Chris quickly broke down in their conversation. It had been a long time since he had someone in his life treating him kindly and genuinely caring about what he had to say. He told Casey about how he ended up homeless, and no surprise, it all started with drugs. Chris's journey of addiction and homelessness began with a single step down the path of gateway drugs. Drugs known as gateway drugs, the most popular of which being marijuana, are called this because they tend to be the entry point in the drug world for those who end up being addicted. While he went down in this dark path, it was not just Chris who had a hard time, it was his whole family too. When he was using, Chris lost his whole family. The worst loss? The loss of his mother, who passed away from cancer, and he never got to say goodbye. After they'd been talking for a while, Casey realized she had to leave. She was late to another engagement. She told him she had to go, but as she was packing up to go, he quickly scribbled a note on a piece of paper and handed it to her as she left. Casey was in a rush as she headed out the donut shop, but when she had a moment, she sat down and read his note. It read, "I wanted to kill myself today. Because of you, I now do not. Thank you, beautiful." A positive influence in just one conversation, saving a life, may be a rare circumstance, but it's a great example of how paying it forward with a positive attitude and kindness to others can have unforeseen effects. If this has inspired you, try practicing this kindness in your life.